You're listening to the REITE Club podcast, where the focus is all about helping you grow your real estate investment portfolio and live the life you want to live. Come grow with us and join our community at thereiteclub.com. And now your hosts, Sarah Larby and Alfonso Salemi.
And so you get around the right people, you change your results. Your results start to mirror the results of the people around you. But if you're going around people that are just doing this, you know, there's a lot of this going on, right?
Oh yeah.
Those results have not been proven. And so you're wondering, why am I not getting the right results? And so you got to search. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be, the REITE Club. But find somewhere to get access, get network, good quality people.
Yeah, that's
and as an example, sorry, Francois, as an example, for example, rent own. So occasionally I'll be somewhere and I'll mention the word rent own and somebody will say, yeah, I've done one or two of those. And so maybe that's not the person that I would want to go to teach me how to do rent own. They could come to me, I've done 51, or they can go to Alfonso, the other Alfonso Salemi, who's over 200 now. And with 200, he has seen a lot of, a situation. And if you learn from him, you will definitely know how to do rent own, not from the person who's done two.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people that right now are just regurgitating information. So be aware of who you're listening to and make sure the people that you're getting that intellectual currency from have proven the concept and have the results that you are looking for.
And that includes joining you, because I'm a subscriber to your YouTube channel.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't how many videos are there? Like I don't know. I stopped counting, but you got so many videos on everything. I mean, explaining cap rate, explaining cash flow, explaining VTB. So you are one of the people who somebody should go to learn about intellectual currency.
I really do appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Well, it's the truth.
It's about 700 videos, by the way.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. How many hours?
And you know what? I love it. And people often ask me, like, Alfonso, all of your videos, you don't sell anything. You don't say, click down here or go to my course or whatever. Everything I do is I do it to add value, show up and add value to the world. I've run my entire organization that way. It's attraction based. Whoever wants to take the next step, they'll reach out. I don't need to sell myself. I just need to show up and add value. And that's been my philosophy.
And that's so true. And that's what I love about the REITE Club as well. So I met Daniel Saint-Jean it's over 2 years ago now. And I wrote him a message and he said, oh, I'm coming to Ottawa in a few weeks. We should meet. And again, leading with value, just like you're doing. He offered me a few good tips that I applied. And I'm like, well, this is great. The REITE Club, the right people, like you mentioned earlier, RIGHT. But anyway, REITE Club also sounds good. And then just building that network. So if you're trying to build a network and your specialty, Alfonso, is multifamily, who do you surround yourself with? Because it's a bit of a different crowd, like you mentioned. Like rent to own is single family homes. Multifamily is how big, and where do you find investors and like-minded people?
Well, you definitely want to go where those people are, right? Find those communities that are harvesting those type of people. I know you guys, what you guys are doing it's excellent. I mean, you guys have a lot of education, multi different investment strategies, multiple different investment strategies. And multifamily, for me, it's not the only thing I do. It is what I'm known for. People know me for that, but I do I have different strategies. I'm going to go where I'm going to get the highest return on investment. I'm not going to be pigeonholed to one specific strategy. But I love multifamily. And if someone were to get into multifamily, hang around other people that are doing the same. That's what I say.
So right now I'm going to put you on the spot. give me, let's say that tomorrow I wake up tomorrow morning and say, okay, I listened to Alfonso, I want to go into the multifamily. What is the number one tip that you would give me that would, what's your number one tip?
Well, first of all, number one is get educated, right? You got to learn how to analyze. You have to learn how to identify a deal. Most people don't know how to identify a deal. If I brought a deal here, here's a deal, here's the best deal, you would look at it and you wouldn't even know that that's a deal, right? So the very first thing everyone should do is learn how to analyze deals, learn how to underwrite, learn how to do the numbers. You can start with books, get a coach, get a mentor, whatever it is that you have to do, but that's step number one.
Yeah, because otherwise you waste a ton of time. Shiny penny, you see buildings everywhere, and 90% are not deals, like you said. A lot of places, if someone says it's a deal, usually it's not a deal. So it's usually a bad sign.
Well, most people think I'm going to go look at it and then see if, and then ask the realtor, okay, if it's a good deal or not. And you know, to me, sure, you can do that. But you're doing everything at a retail level, right? Because you don't have an insight on whether or not that's truly a good deal or not. Building up that intellectual currency means building up the knowledge so you can identify. You don't need a realtor to tell you whether or not this is a good deal. You should be able to look at a property and figure out whether or not this is a good deal for you. And the only way to do that is getting that education. You're going to have to get it anyways. You'll either get it the hard way or the easy way.
And the hard way can be quite expensive. If you end up acquiring a non-deal and it goes south, I mean, that could be big dollars if you're in big multifamily properties. So to identify a deal, maybe following up with Danielle's question, do you have maybe like 2 criteria you can share that help determine if it's a deal or not? Like what?
Well, first of all, it has to be positive cash flow, depending on the strategy, of course. But if you're just going to, buy something traditionally, a multifamily apartment building, you want to make sure there's positive cash flow, right? So I'm typically looking at between 4 to 6% cash on cash return. How do you determine the cash on cash return? Well, you take the amount of money and the cash flow, which is all of your gross rents, the income minus expenses, to not overcomplicate it here on the podcast, but your income minus expenses minus your debt service, which is your mortgage, that's your cash flow at the end. What's left over after everything is paid. You want to divide that by the cash invested. That gives you a number, right? That's your cash on cash return. Usually 4 to 5%. You're on the right track. Anything better than that is excellent, right? When you start to carry these properties, meaning you'll be negative performing, negative cash flow, I would say that type of business model is not sustainable. Usually that happens when someone hasn't evaluated the property correctly, or they're an appreciation type of investor, meaning they're speculating on the price going up in value. So if the only way you're going to make money in real estate is that property is going to go up in value, so you're waiting for that appreciation, you're a speculator, right? You're not truly an investor. You're just waiting. You're just speculating, and you're hoping to ride the market. And as you know, markets go up and they also come down. And that cash flow is going to be that cushion for you that's going to help you weather the storm.
So do you throw the word focus, and let me explain in a second here into your pieces of advice. For example, when I mentor people, I tell them focus on a strategy, because you cannot acquire intellectual currency in every strategy unless you do it for the next 30 years and even at that, and focus on an area. So you can't know if it's a good deal in Moncton and in Halifax and in Winnipeg, and because you would need to know all of the. So are you one of the people who suggest to people that they focus on a strategy and on an area when they're investing in real estate?
When the more focused you are, the better it will be for you in your business. Of course, I believe that intellectual currency, as we were talking about, it's about building your real estate IQ.
Thanks for listening to the REITE Club podcast and joining our community of real estate investors online at thereiteclub.com, where the focus is about helping you grow. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks from your hosts, Sarah Larby and Alfonso Salemi.